Welcome to aminacademy.com. In questions, how, why, and what. In that, we lost some questions that can the time be frozen or stopped? What happens to light? For example, if time stops, suddenly all photons in the air will be suspended as well. How would a time traveler in such an environment see? They would only be able to see as long as they move forward, but as soon as they move backward, no light will hit their eyes, and suddenly the whole world is black for them. And then air as well. If no air molecules enter their lungs because they are all freezes up, the time traveler would be choking right where they stand, and this must be running to catch all the air they could. And then I wonder about forces such as momentum works. Does the time traveler impact a force on objects suspended in time? Will there be able inertia? What happens if, say, the time traveler takes an object and push it for a distance and then time resume? Would all the momentum builds up in the objects be released all at once? Also compression. If all the atoms in the air is frozen in time, would be time traveler by merely moving compress them together to the point of fusion because they are essentially moving faster than light. Is it possible? No. Every movement would trigger catastrophic explosion as soon as time resumes. Would it? I'm sure there are more things that might go wrong in this time stop scenario, but I don't have enough knowledge about it further. If you have any knowledge, you can share it. Now, let us do more interesting things about the can the time be frozen or stopped? No, time as a fundamental aspect of reality cannot be stopped or frozen in the way it's often portrayed in fiction. Time is intertwined with motion and changes. That means motion and changes, then the time is connected with. Time is essentially a measure of change in motion. If so, everything stopped moving, there would be any time passing. There would not be any time passing. No physical entity to freeze. Time is not a tangible thing that can be manipulated or frozen like an object, relativity, and their speed of light. Einstein's theories of relativity suggest that time is relative and can be affected by speed and gravity, but it does not allow for time to be stopped or frozen. The concept of freezing time is simplification. The idea of freezing time is simplification used in storytelling and does not reflect the way time actually works in the real world. Cryonics and other methods are not time stopping, while crayons freezing bodies aims to preserve them to potential future revival. It does not stop time or allow for time travel. It just preserves the body in a frozen state only. Let's go further. Let's wonder, what if the time freezes? If we assume that the molecular motions retards and you possibly reach the 0 Kelvin mark. However, to attain this, we need to displace the heat onto a different places apart from our universe. If anyone had seen this, one should recall that they actually accelerated the atoms so that the time appears to move very slow but not frozen. However, if atoms travel very fast with its vibrational energy, the heat shall be generated. But where to dispose of the heat? Since heat seems to create a problem, let's think of something different. If we travel near a black hole, as it is said that as we move closer to the hole, the speed appears to slow down and time can be freezing black hole. Imagining that we escaped all the possibilities of the and paused the time somehow, what happens next? Well, if time pauses for everyone, relatively speaking, nothing special happens. The molecules, water, people, and planet shall pause. Since our neutrons and cells shall also come to a halt, we could not have ever understood that time has stalled. However, instead, if the entire universe, if you are the only one to comprehend that time has halted, things shall definitely behave differently since the sound waves shall be frozen. You won't be able to hear anything. The same goes for the light. As the protons shall be paused, you won't be able to see anything except for pitch black darkness. The problem shall deteriorate since as the oxygen molecules shall be frozen, you won't be able to breathe oxygen. Thus, evidently, you perhaps won't enjoy if time freezes with no oxygen, no light, and being deaf. Furthermore, even if you can receive the light and be functional from all dimensions, your brain can't decode the information you are sensing as everything shall be washed out. Thus, is it sensible to have time being slowed down, then bringing it to a complete stop? Slowing down shall infer that you are retarding the speed of light, thereby pushing yourself to travel more into the domains of infrared microwaves. Henceforth, although the infrared radiation shall travel to your eyes, you could not sense them, leaving you blank again. Thus, at a glance, pausing time does help us with a pragmatic solution. The childhood is a childhood like. That means the time cannot be completely frozen. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.